Hello, guys. Welcome to M2G Academy. My name is Stephen Akintayo, and I'm going to be talking to you about uh, investment and finance. Okay, so let's start. What is finance? Finance is basically the process of managing funds. And of course, we all at different phases of our life will need to manage funds, whether private funds, whether funds for institutions, but management of funds is very, very critical. Now, what is investment itself? Investment is basically the process of putting money to use so as to increase the money available. Another word for that is making money work for you. Now, the two topic, I'm going to start first with finance. And of course, in the course of discussing finance, will then lead to investment. And there are two ways to look at this. For this particular course, we'll look at more personal finance. We also have corporate finance, or finance as relates to business. The 1 hour we have will not be enough for us to look into that. Hopefully, we'll have another course that will look into that. But we'll start with personal finance. Remember again, us finance is the process of managing. Another word for or another definition for finance is also the process of raising funds. For one thing or the other. Now, as an individual, personal finance, you need funds. You need money to pay your bills. And as a believer, you need funds, both for your personal life and also for kingdom work. There's a need for funds. There's a need to have resources to be able to do the things of God. And it's important to know that, of course, Deuteronomy 8:80, I'm the Lord thy God, I give you the power to get wealth. And it's important to know that, yes, God gives power to get wealth. Oftentimes, the power comes in form of ideas, the power comes in form of favor, the power comes in form of opportunities, right? And usually, money is a means of exchange for cash. And in this lecture, we'll look at what are the 4 ways to raise funds for yourself. Remember, finance is raising funds as well as managing funds. There are 4 ways every human being can make money or can raise funds. 4 major ways. Number 1 is to get a job. Number 2 is to be self-employed. You start a company, a few staff here and there. Number 3 is to own a business. There's a difference between self-employment and a business. What's the difference? The business has a system. In other words, the business can run with or without a founder. Number 4, you can make money by investments, aka make money work for you. So let's go one by one. We'll start with a job. I believe strongly that, and I'm not into, there's nothing wrong with motivational speech, but a lot of wrong teaching by some motivational speaker about having to work, and that it is wrong to work for anyone. The only way to be rich is, for you to own your business. Partly true, partly false. How do you even raise the capital for your business? Many times people will not even put their money into anyone who is just graduating school. You've never done anything, you've never achieved anything, and then you say, oh, I'm starting a business. So oftentimes it's even the job that if you manage your salary well, you can raise the capital for your business from the job that you currently are doing. And so it's good. Like Bishop Oedipo always say, there's dignity in labor. Okay? It is good that a young man carries yoke in the days of his youth. So you need a job. It's one of the ways to make money. And if you do it well, it might be the process of raising the capital for the business you want to own or for the investments that you need to do, right? If you manage your salary well. Okay, for some of us watching this and you say to me, Dr. Stephen, but I don't have a job. I will say, if you don't have a job, then go volunteer. However, don't just volunteer in places where your your exposure, your credibility will make it easier for you to get jobs with other people. I'll give an example. I met a young man recently. I was in Geneva, Switzerland, and he's into photography. And he's been asking me, what do you think I can do here in Switzerland? And I said, why not volunteer to do free photography project? Because most of the non-profit from UN, UNICEF, a lot of these big, non-profit organizations are based in Switzerland, particularly Geneva. And that's why you see a lot of the World Bank events. World Bank is there. Even the what's it called? The one that Dr. Ngozi Iweala is the World Trade is also located there. I said, why not select each of these institutions, UNICEF, World UN, World Trade, and go volunteer to do photography and videos for them? I said, one powerful thing is this. By the time you do a good job for them, now on your profile, you can say clientele, you put UNICEF, you put UN. Now, when people are looking at this caliber of people, they didn't know you did it for free. In their minds, like, wow, for this person to have worked with this organization, we need him or her. Now, even if at the beginning you're volunteering or you're building your profile, so the same thing here. If you tell me I don't have a job, Dr. Steve, I've looked for a job, nobody was going to give me a job, then look for some of the organizations that you really want to work for. Okay, for some of you who have the intention to eventually own your business, look for companies that do something similar to what you eventually go and start, and go work for them for free. I've done this before. I once wrote 100 CV with a cover letter that says, do not pay me for 6 months until I prove myself. Okay, but it does not make sense for you to fold your hands and say, nobody's willing to pay me. I've applied, nobody's giving me job. Go volunteer. It's one of the wise thing you can do. Now, another thing you can do to help you, maybe you have a job and you say, Dr. Stephen, but my job does not pay enough for me to save, for me to invest, for me to even be able to go and start my business in the future. Like I said, nothing wrong with having a job. What is wrong is if you now are dependent on salary for the rest of your life. Data has shown that there are two major ways that you can earn. There's something we call passive income, and then we'll call something we call active income. Now, when you have a job, it's an active income, and data shows that nobody can ever become financially free from an active income. You have to convert your active income, okay, into passive income. You have to invest your active income, part of your active income, into a source of passive income. And that's how you become financially free. So, in the case where you don't even have a good job, you're underemployed, what do? You need to have figured out a way to add more skills. Soft skills could help, but certifications are very powerful, particularly for a lot of you watching this and you don't live in Africa. I see us making the same mistake where, because here in Africa, people are after, do you have a master's, do you have a PhD? Then we go to Canada, we go to UK, we go to US. And guess what we're also chasing? PhD, masters. Now, that is not really what they are looking for in that part of the world. They're looking for your ability to have to have gotten certain certification, the ability to be able to operate with certain ERP, right? And many of these big multinationals that you need to work for that will pay you good money already use certain ERP. And those ERP systems, if you can't use them, you can't even log in and do your job. So these are some of the areas you want to begin to look into if you're a professional. What are the certifications I can get that enhance my chances of getting more pay? Even if my existing organization isn't willing to pay me, it enhances my chance of getting better pay in another organization. For a lot of us who are in Africa and want to japa, when you eventually japa, rather than having to do jobs that you're not proud of, Your ability to have gotten these certifications will enhance your chances of getting a very, very good job. I hope this makes sense. Now, when you've gotten a good job, good income, it is wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, to begin by saving. Now, you can start savings. I always advise, sometimes people say, do I do 10%? Do I do 20%? Do I do? My advice is, hey, start something small. You can start with 2%, 5%, but increase it gradually. What is important here is habits. One of my books is called The Billionaire Habits. Ultimately, your habits determines your decisions, and your decisions determines your destiny. You must build certain good habits that are good, and one of them is habit of saving. So from that salary, whether enough or not, begin to save, begin to put some portion into some account. And please know that savings in itself is not wisdom, and aka savings account. When you put your money in the bank and you're not doing anything with it in the name of savings, you're shaving your head, right? You must eventually invest the money that you're saving, even as an employee. You know why? The rule is this: you want to make sure that a day will come, and I believe God that that day will come for you, when the money you are making from the investment you've done with your savings, okay, the passive income that comes from it will be higher than your current salary. And when that day comes, is the best time to now think of option number two, which is self-employment, right? Self-employment basically is the journey to eventually owning a business that can run without you. But at the beginning of every business, you, the founder, need to be very hands-on. You need to be involved. You need to be actively involved. However, my definition of self-employment is basically monetizing your talent. You have to figure out a way to monetize your talent. Every one of us is talented. And people ask me, Dr. Steve, why are you mentioning four ways in terms of finance? Now, when you look at Genesis chapter 1, you realize that there are four rivers, okay, that flow into the Garden of Eden. And each of those rivers have a precious, precious stone. I believe that that was God directing us that minimum four sources of income. And like I said earlier, a job is one, self-employment is one, owning a business that can run with or without you is another, and having various investment is the fourth one. And you can have way more. But self-employment, as far as I want to define it in this class, is monetizing your talent. And so everybody should have channel around these four ways. One of those for me is public speaking. Is one of my self-employment business. So I charge, and it's on my website, $20,000 to speak at events. I also have coaching programs that people pay. I have an e-learning platform. I earn from my books. I've written 42 books. Every week, money comes. Now, that is just me monetizing the fact that I'm a good writer and I can speak well. But guess what? I didn't start like that. It was just raw talent. Nobody pay for talent. People pay for skill. And every one of us have it. You can sing, you can act, you just have this, ability to organize. You can cook. You're good with media. You can do videos. You can start a YouTube channel. I mean, there's so many areas that many of us can monetize in terms as a result of our natural talent. But again, nobody pay for talent, they pay for skill. So how do you convert your talent to a skill? Number one, training. Goes back again to volunteering. So at the beginning of your talent, find a way to volunteer. Years ago, I used to beg people to coach them, just to coach them. I say, oh, you don't own a business, come for a session with me. Free, free, don't pay. And I would say, okay, can you do this? Can you strategize this? And some of them will even come late for my class, even though it was free. Today, I charge heavily to coach people. So always learn to move from free to fee, particularly when it has to do with your talent. A lot of the great people you see today used to beg people. A popular comedian said used to beg people to anchor their birth dates when he was in the university. Today is one of the highest paid comedians. There was a time we wanted him to do something for our company, and was asking for over $50,000 just to do a video to influence for our real estate business. And this was the same man who used to beg to anchor. So you must move from free to fee as it relates to your talent. You must move from that. But one of the major thing is training, training, training. And if you can get better trained by just volunteering, absolutely fantastic. And you go do that.